This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
You're plugged in for the Podcast Wrestling Society, where you can get dynamic weekly pro wrestling and MMA-related content. Give us a follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PODWRES Society so that you can stay in the know.
Faith is the place. The sky's the limit.
And if you like what you hear, give us a 5-star review and hit that subscribe button.
Woo! 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 Woo!
Now, your host, he is the one and only Troy Adams.
Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome to the Podcast Wrestling Society. We're the only podcast that is about to get on with the strapation, dude. I'm your loving leader, benevolent host, Midwest Monster, and your official strap master, Troy Adams. And with me today to go over a great day in wrestle crap history. When I saw him rolling by in the slow-rolling casket, brothers, I heard him whisper one word, Yapapa. And I knew it had to be a Yapapa Indian strap match, brother. He is the second half of this mega-powered team, Greg. What up, Greg?
What's up?
Probably one of my favorite Hulk Hogan promos of all time.
Oh, that was, yeah.
We're not covering that event, but we are covering an event where Hulk Hogan was in a strap match, though. So,
man,
comes full circle.
Yep.
Nothing screams ratings like Hulk Hogan in a Yapapa Indian strap match.
Can we first talk about what the hell a Yapapa Indian strap is?
I'm not even entirely sure what a Yapapa Indian is, and why do they use straps? Like, wouldn't you think, I think Yapapa is a certain kind of, Native American tribe, I would assume, but do they use straps on each other? And if so, why were the straps in this match just, basically his weight belt?
Yeah.
It just,
still don't get it.
No bit of it made sense. And his promos were frickin' brutal. Just brutal. And I love Hulk Hogan promos, man, but holy crap. And, you're only as good as the material they give you. But, wow. Speaking of the material they give you, today we are covering WCW Uncensored 1995 because we love punishing ourselves.
Just hearing the name of the pay-per-view makes me laugh.
Unsanctioned, unauthorized, unbelievable. That was the tagline, by the way. Uncensored.
Oh,
this was the first
and
ever.
Yet there is so much sanction.
Yeah, they can't bleed. That was one big thing. No blood. By the way, anything goes.
No blood. Anything goes. It's uncensored, but no blood. Let's put that out there. Twice. No blood. 3 people got crap canned. I'll censor it. I'll censor myself on an uncensored show. 3 people got canned for blading on this. Well, 2 people got canned for blading. 1 person got canned for telling them to blade. And that was a huge loss, too.
Yeah. Well, especially losing the Blacktop Bully. How do you recover from that? He was going to go on the next month to take on the world champ, right? I mean, I can only assume. We'll get to why here in a minute. First of all, this show is destined for greatness when it comes to you live from the Tupelo Coliseum in Tupelo, Mississippi. No offense to any of our... if we have any Mississippi listeners, no offense, but holy crap. I mean, it's not like it's Dayton or something.
Dayton with destiny.
If it was Dayton, it might have been a success. You want to know what the total attendance for this show was, Greg?
4.
No. 5,000.
I'm sorry, did I overdo it?
Yeah, 5,782.
Wow.
They couldn't even hit.
That's a lot.
Yeah, they couldn't even hit 5 figures. What the hell?
Well, people probably, thought it was going to be too brutal. It was uncensored.
Oh, they couldn't handle it. Oh my gosh, yeah, they drove too many people from Tupelo back to, their ECW shows where it was more tame.
Yeah. Right. Oh my God.
Check this out. There were actually 2 pre-show matches. The first one was Alex Wright defeating Mark Starr. That match lasted for 2 minutes, 44 seconds. So that was a barn burner. The second one was even better.
Wait, I said sarcasm in that.
Oh, no, never. The second one, Steve Austin defeated Tim Horner. If any of you listen to the Jim Cornette podcast, you will know plenty about Tim Horner and why Jim Cornette hates him. Shocker, I know. But that match lasted for 1.5 minutes. So
that's 1 minute and 29 seconds too long.
It was actually 1 minute 27 seconds, and it just it tore the house down. I didn't see it, but I can imagine it in my mind. Steve Austin versus Tim Horner, just 1 minute 27 seconds, just bell to bell, non-stop action.
Total non-stop action.
Or total non-stop awesome. So there's.
Let's not.
Oh man, thank you for that, Joey Styles. I have to point out something else about this event. If you look at the cover of it was VHS back then. For if we have any young listeners that don't know what a VHS is, first of all, what the hell are you doing with yourselves? Just throw it into your Google machine. Look it up, man. I can't even explain what a VHS is to young people. I'm only 27. How
you're making me feel my age again, dude. Will you just shut the hell up, please?
I saw a video the other day of these young kids. They look like they were about 12 and 10. Their parents handed them cassette tapes, and they didn't know what the hell to do with them. They were holding them up to their ears, waiting for sound to come out of them. I'm like, what the hell?
Okay.
I still own cassette tapes. I mean, I don't have anything to play them in, but I still have them. But anyway, the cover of the VHS tape here has all WWF guys on it. Hogan is front and center, and to one side of him is Macho Man, and the other side is Avalanche, a.k.a. Earthquake.
I got to point out, by the way, this is the last ever event for Avalanche.
Well, yeah, because after this, he became the historic character known as the Shark. Because, if you're going to go from Avalanche to something, you might as well go with the Shark.
Yeah, snow to water. I don't, what are you talking about? What's so bad about that?
Not that this would have been much better, but at least go with, the killer whale or something. I don't know. Better than the frickin' Shark. That didn't even make any, even kind of make sense.
What are you talking about? He painted the teeth on the side of his face, and he made that weird sound.
Oh, well, that makes it a lot better.
Out like Shark Boy does, with the hand on his forehead like a fin. He was the original guy to do that, and then he started having his hand, and he used his left hand to grip his forearm to make a fin.
So wait a second.
This is money, man.
Are you telling me that we have John Tenta to blame for Shark Boy?
I think so.
Oh, man. They even had the same color scheme, if you remember.
I do.
Oh, man. He probably is to blame. Who loved that gimmick so much that they're like, you know what? I'm going to rip it off.
Hey, he kicked a lot of bass in his day, man.
Oh, Shell, yeah. Well, the opening of the show, they're really playing up this whole uncensored thing. I even laughed during the opening package.
Wait, why would you laugh at anything about this event? I don't.
You know what? You're right. I don't know. You're right. But no, I laughed during the opening package because it consisted of a lot of people telling the camera to either get out of my face or get out of here. So
Uncensored.
Get out of my face! Okay. Uncensored means the camera is where it's not supposed to be. Like on a WCW ring. Oh. Burn!
You went there. You went there.
Yep. And they make mention in the opening, intro of the show about Hulk Hogan's ultimate surprise that will be with him at ringside tonight, and it's the Renegade.
Yeah, because it's not even Jimmy Hart. I think, if I remember right, he was kidnapped before.
Yeah, he was beaten up or whatever.
By Vader and Flair.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get to Flair. That's that's a whole new something.
Yes, we will.
Well,
I'm sorry.
The event opens.
Oh my God.
Oh, by the way, I forgot one. I forgot one of the pre-show matches. There were actually three. Because, how can I leave this one out? It was a tag team match. It was Stars and Stripes, which was Marcus Alexander Bagwell, a.k.a. Buff Bagwell, and The Patriot, which I didn't even know he was ever signed to WCW. They defeated the team of Dick Slater and Bunkhouse Buck.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, the show officially opens up with the King of the Road match. The Blacktop Bully versus the Natural Dustin Rhodes. They're literally going down the road on the back of a flatbed truck covered with hay, surrounded by some chicken wire fence. And the point was you have to climb the side of the fence cage thingy and blow the truck horn. And the cage was only about, what would you say, about 6 foot tall, maybe 6'5". I'd say about.
Yeah, because they were able to hold their arms up and grab onto it and stuff. So yeah, it was definitely. Yeah,
I'd say it was
right there by their head.
Yeah, so I'd say about 6'5", because Dustin's a tall dude, and yeah, so this sounds a lot easier of a way to win than they made it out to be, because this match went on for it doesn't have an official time clocked in here. I don't know why. But it went on for what seemed like an eternity. Bobby Heenan, during the match, said, "The back of that truck has got to smell like Dusty Rhodes' living room." He was just taking a crap on the Rhodes family throughout this whole match. There were you'll notice if you ever watch the match, which I would advise you not to, but there are lighting effects going on throughout the match, they'll darken the lighting out of nowhere. It's to hide the blood, because they had a no blood policy at this time. And they had a couple times where the camera would, the signal would look like it's messing up, and they kept saying, "Oh, well, there's microwave interference." I don't know why.
Because there's always a microwave on the back of a pickup truck.
Well, exactly. Why would it's inside the cab of the truck. The guy driving got a little hungry, decided to microwave himself a Hot Pocket. This match was a Hot Pocket.
It was hot something, I'll tell you.
Hot garbage. Yeah, this was something that went on for quite a while. They had a helicopter with a camera strapped to it following this semi. Think about the logistics of this match. They had to rent a flatbed truck with all of this bullcrap on it. They had to rent a helicopter and strap a camera to it. They had a car driving beside the truck with a camera on it. And they had to shut down the street that they were on, which, by the way, was not in Tupelo, Mississippi. I think they said it was back in Charlotte, North Carolina or something in that area. It was not even in the same state. So think about the money they spent on this abortion. I
liked it. That was a great match.
Oh, it was, the 5 stars. Just, wow. The best part about this was when Blacktop Bully finally blows the horn and he wins the damn thing. We switch back to the arena where they set off all this pyro like he just won the Royal Rumble. And I thought, what the hell is going on here? He didn't even, he won for, there wasn't a prize. He just won.
The prize was finally over. Put us all out of our misery.
Thank God. The next match was was dubbed a martial arts match between Meng and with Colonel Robert Parker, which, man, they gave Colonel Robert Parker the weirdest freaking clients ever.
I know.
Jim Cornette said that was...
At one point he had Harlem Heat, remember?
Yeah, I know, right? Jim Cornette said that was almost his gimmick, because he said Ric Flair, when the first time he went to WWF, he told Jimmy, he was like, you need to come with me. He was like, you be my manager. You can be the Kentucky Colonel. And he wanted him to be like basically Colonel Sanders, and he wanted that gimmick, and Jimmy was like, tempting, but no thanks. And he said, so he was like, well, he got his Kentucky Colonel. Poor Robert Parker, a.k.a. Tennessee Lee.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out at what point Jim Duggan never knew martial arts.
Yeah, I'll get to him in a second. Everybody, for the record, Meng is Tongan, okay? He looked like the Great Muta. He came out to some Japanese-sounding music. They basically made it seem like he was Japanese, and he was a martial artist, and he's wearing what looked like Mr. Fuji's Demolition face paint.
I don't think I've ever heard anything in wrestling of them making like an Islander guy a Japanese wrestler. They've never done that before.
No, yeah, just there was never one of those guys. There was never anything like that held the WWF title. Never.
No.
On a show that involved Hulk Hogan. But yeah, they do that, and then Jim Duggan comes out looking dumber than usual.
That's a statement.
Right? He's wearing a headband, a weird kind of like black muscle shirt type deal, blue jeans, because you always wear blue jeans when you're in a martial arts fight, black boots, and he had American flag knee pads, and he like randomly wrapped tape around one of his legs and then one of his arms. Or no, he had it on both arms. That's right. Like, almost like wrist to elbow almost. It was freaking weird. I'm like, what karate movies are you watching, dude? He looked like he was about to take out Ralph Macchio behind the school or something. But he comes to the ring. The referee for this fight was Sonny Ono. If any of you remember him, he sued WCW for racial profiling or racism. But this was manager Sonny Ono. At this point, they were just billing him as like a martial arts expert, whatever. But he was the special guest referee for this martial arts match. Jim Duggan seems like he just doesn't understand what the hell is going on. I know, shocker. But he keeps like Sonny Ono keeps trying to tell him, you got to come in the center of the ring, bow to each other, whatever. And he's just like, get off my back, get off my back. And then he goes around the ring, ho, USA, USA. Just like stalling for like 5 minutes. He acts like he just doesn't get it. And he's like playing a total heel because he's being a dick to the referee who's done like nothing to him. And here's a gripe of mine. They kept calling him Ming.
A couple times, I think probably he didn't call him Haku.
Did he? I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
I just kept hearing.
Yeah, like twice.
Wow. Well, I just kept hearing them say Ming over and over. I'm like, it's not Ming like frickin' Flash Gordon. It's Mang with an E. Like, holy hell. At one point during the match, like, Mang is just, like, whooping his ass. Duggan takes off his boot and smacks Mang in the face with it. And the commentators excuse this by saying, oh, well, he can't be disqualified because there are no rules. It's uncensored. And I'm like,
uncensored. Come on.
Then I'm like, what the hell is the point of calling this a martial arts match? There's no rules. Essentially, he could drop Trow, bend him over the top rope, and just take advantage of him.
And it would show it because it's uncensored.
But no blood. You can show man-on-man sodomy, but you cannot show, blood. That's a no-no. But Duggan, was it just me or was Duggan playing the heel here? He's like yelling at the ref. He's beating Meng with his boot for no reason. But he's supposed to be this huge baby face just because he makes the crowd chant USA.
Yes.
Where's bad? I don't get... but the match...
So I'm saying...
The match finally mercifully ends with Duggan, like Colonel Rob Parker gets up on the apron and grabs his arm, and then like Sonny Ono grabs his other arm trying to pull him back in the ring. So he's like held there, and then Meng just nails him with a kick, and then he pins him. I'm like, holy crap. Thank God.
Just end it. End it now. Take my life.
Right. Oh, man. I just... yeah. So that went on way too damn long. So as this event did. But the next match after that, I don't know why they kept doing these like special, quote unquote specialty matches, where it's like, oh, it's uncensored. We got to do these stupid match types. Man. Yeah, because stupid reigns supreme. I guess it was a boxer versus wrestler match, and yes, it sounds just as bad as it was.
I take offense to that. This match was amazing.
Oh, yeah. Because I was like, boxer versus wrestler. I was like, what boxer did they bring in? It wasn't really a boxer. It was Johnny B.
He is a boxer.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. The wild man himself. Johnny B. Bad versus Arn Anderson.
Mixing up gimmicks there.
Yeah. The wild man, Mark Marrow, Johnny B. Bad, whatever the hell. Yeah, that was just, that was something else. This match...
Oh, it was freaking epic, man.
They had rounds, like an actual boxing match, and freaking Johnny B. Bad had a trainer with him that tried to look like Mick from the frickin' Rocky movies.
Yep.
I don't know who the hell this guy was, and Johnny B. Bad won the match with, like, he had his gloves cut off of him, and Arn Anderson was not wearing gloves, by the way. He was the wrestler in this, and no disrespect to Arn, but holy crap, this was bad. Johnny's trainer puts a bucket over Arn Anderson's head. Johnny punches it and knocks him out and then pins him. Uncensored.
So, here's one of my things, too, about that. Something WCW did a lot. I think Johnny B. Bad was the champ, right?
No, Arn was the champ.
Arn was. Well, yeah, but either way, there was no title on the line, and there was a champion in the match.
Yeah. So
they're like a little notorious for that.
Yeah. What the hell? It's like and it was the TV. I realized it was pay-per-view, so he didn't have to defend it. But the TV champ is like the point of that title is you defend it every time you're on camera, basically.
Yeah.
So I was dumb, but
no, it was amazing somehow.
Oh yeah. Well, this
whole pay-per-view was just so good.
Shut up. Yeah, that's why we're reviewing it right now. That's why when I texted it to you, you were like, "Yes, let's do that one."
It's so terrible, dude.
You know what I told you earlier about no disqualifications, anything goes? Well, that brings us to Randy Savage versus the Avalanche. Where Randy Savage won via disqualification. How about that?
Yeah.
They just
this match was like terrible. Like, Macho Man's really great. And
I'm a fan of John Tenta's work for the most part, but this was just like, I mean, it was okay. Not great. Definitely not one of them that you'd put on, the Macho Man DVD box set.
Can we talk about the
oh, we'll get to it.
Interference?
Yeah, we'll get to it.
My favorite part of the match.
Well, Randy Savage basically got his ass kicked by Avalanche throughout most of this match. And then Randy finally started making a comeback. They go out of the ring, and he gets tackled by a woman. Wait a minute, that's not a woman. That's a man, baby.
It was a fan.
Yeah, it was a fan out of the crowd. It was a woman who was clearly... all I could think of was, that's not a woman. That's a man, baby. It was
Vito.
Yeah. It was none other than Ric Flair in drag, complete with eyeshadow and and I believe fake eyelashes. Not making it up.
Arguably the greatest wrestler in history, just in drag.
He had like the whole outfit on. He looked like he was ready for a night out on the town with his girlfriends. And he had this huge curly black wig. Just mother of God. And they're like, a fan is jumping Randy Savage. What's going on here? But, you know, the ref isn't going to break it up because it's uncensored. It's like, oh, well, then that should have just given just given the sign. You know what? You don't like what's going on? Just jump the rail, damn it. Because why not? It's uncensored.
That's a great precedent, by the way.
I know. Yeah, it's just so freaking, like, so much bad. But then he just comes out, beats the crap out of Macho Man, and then Hulk Hogan comes down, and apparently Hulk Hogan, by himself, scares off a fresh as a daisy Ric Flair and a still standing Avalanche. Like, I get it. It's Hulk Hogan. What the F? Just like, what the F?
Oh, man.
Here's what Wikipedia says about it. Despite the event being billed as no rules, the Avalanche was disqualified in this match against Randy Savage after a, quote, fan attacked Savage. The fan turned out to be Ric Flair dressed like a woman. Oh, gosh. And then we move on to, let's see, the Falls Count Anywhere Texas Tornado Tag Team Match. Man, that's a mouthful.
Oh, the mouthful.
Yeah, right. It was the Nasty Boys versus Harlem Heat with Sister Sherry.
Going back to what I just said, by the way, there were champions of the match, and there were no titles on the line.
Yeah, Harlem Heat came in. Well, because you got to beat the champs without making them drop the belts. That's how it's done, Greg. Just like in WWE. Just like in WWE, they abuse the hell out of multi-person matches so you don't have to pin the top guy. But
yes, Clash of Champions 2017.
Yeah, that it's going to happen. It ended up in the concession stands where the participants attacked each other with, not making this up, cotton candy, soft drinks, and other nearby objects. Harlem Heat's WCW Tag Team Championships were not on the line, as Greg mentioned earlier. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, we completely skipped over the greatness that was this throwaway match that lasted for almost 14 minutes. Big Bubba Rogers versus Sting.
Yeah, I love that Sting is in a throwaway match.
Yeah, against Big Bubba.
At the time, maybe the number 3 most popular wrestler on the planet.
And up until about this time period, well, I'd say, because this was after he came back from his first WWF run, right?
Bubba?
Yeah, Big Bubba.
About, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, he had turned heel. He came back. He was the guardian angel for a minute, and then he turned into Big Bubba.
Yeah, is that why he was wearing the stupid, like, all red with the damn beret?
Yeah, he was the angel, or she was the boss. And then I guess there was a lawsuit.
Shocker.
The guardian angel.
Yeah.
And he turned heel and became Big Bubba, who he was before.
Yeah, because they were talking up in the video package leading up to this that he maintained law and order in the WCW. And I'm like, since when? Like, oh, look, you got a perfectly good gimmick here in WCW, but we really want to rip off what WWF did with you, so we're going to do that. Just holy hell. But yeah, so Big Bubba comes out as Big Bubba this time. He's back in his old former bodyguard attire, you know, the whole suit, the aviator shades, the fedora, all that good stuff. But he doesn't have his old theme. Yeah, this is definitely not the Big Bubba of his previous run in WCW. He was fairly over his first time around. He was fairly over in WWF. He's not so much here.
No one cared.
And he beat Sting. He beat him. Did I already say that he beat Sting? Because he beat Sting.
Yeah. I know.
Pay-per-view is freaking weird, man. But yeah, we finally get to the main event here. It's Hulk Hogan with the ultimate surprise, of the Renegade in his corner.
Yeah.
He took on Vader with Ric Flair in his corner. Ric Flair was not dressed in drag for this. It was yeah, right. It was a leather strap match.
I remember going into this. It was like what, 11, and I thought it was the Ultimate Warrior for sure.
Everybody and their brother did, and then he brings out this dude who looks like he's cosplaying as the Ultimate Warrior for Comic-Con. But he didn't. But he didn't quite know how to draw the symbol on his face, so he just drew an R and said "F it."
And he kind of came out looking like I can't describe it, man. He was like trying to move like the Warrior, but he's going more so left and right.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? What do I do? I was like,
he was on drugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this match was just a cluster from the beginning. Before the pay-per-view, Hulk Hogan's manager, Jimmy Hart, was supposedly kidnapped, tied up in an undisclosed location by Vader and Flair. Because, when you're Vader, you just can't risk the Mouth of the South being at ringside. But during the match, Hart escaped, and he joined the Renegade at ringside. By God, he got free! And during the match, a masked man appeared and attacked the Renegade before returning to the back. Who am that masked man, by the way, Greg?
I think it turned out to be, let's pick a name. We'll just say Brutus Beefcake.
Oh my gosh. You mean the Butcher?
I think this is when he became the Butcher, yes.
This was the year of the let's get sued by WWF gimmicks.
Yep.
Mother of God.
Man. I also need to point out, once again, no title on the line in this match.
Hogan was a champ, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Well, and they could have put the title on the line because he won. So what the hell? But
I don't know.
Not one single title was on the line this whole show. I'm just going to throw that out there. Not one.
Well, you don't want your title changed your hands on a show that's completely crazy with anything happening because it's all uncensored,
Yeah, can't risk changing the title on in that kind of atmosphere. It's got to be sanctioned rules here. Hogan was given the win over Vader when he dragged and interfered. He was supposed to drag Vader from all four, but he didn't. But he didn't. I think I don't know if he forgot the rules and he was like, "Oh yeah." But he knocked out Ric Flair when he tried to interfere, and he grabbed Flair and dragged him around to all four. Why? Flair's not in the match. Well, it's uncensored, I guess. He can do what the hell ever. After the match, the masked man appeared again, seemingly siding with Vader and Flair before unmasking to reveal himself as Randy Savage and embracing Hogan.
This is not the Butcher yet.
Yeah.
It comes late. They do the mask thing 3 times this year, by the way.
Of course they do, because if there's one thing WCW knows how to do, it's beat a dead horse.
I forgot they do it later. He reveals himself. And yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
but he unmasks. It's Savage.
Or it happened already.
Yeah,
it happened already. They headlined Starrcade '94. That's right. So this was the second time.
Oh well, it worked so fantastically the first time because everybody remembers the main event of Starrcade '94.
Oh my God!
But he unmasks. It's Macho Man. First name Macho, last name Man. Oh yeah, freak out, dig it. But anyway, then he hugs Hogan, Renegade, and Hart. They're one big happy family. Then Savage had tied up the first masked man backstage, who was then revealed to be Arn Anderson. Hogan's WCW World Heavyweight Championship was not on the line in this match.
I just want to point out something I always wondered. So, Arn comes out as a masked guy. He goes backstage, gets beat up by Macho Man.
And then
why?
And then Macho Man just throws on his gear and is like, "I'm going out there now, brother."
Oh my God, this is bad.
Give me those undies too, brother.
Not even. I mean, Even Rick Russo was laughing at this one, man.
Yeah, this made all the casual fans go bye-bye, and now the only people that watch the show are children and marks.
Well, keep in mind that their competition that month was WrestleMania 11. So, which pay-per-view did you choose?
Well, so against WrestleMania 11, they put out this. I can't even call it a shined-up turd. It's just a turd.
Yeah.
Holy hell on wheels. Well, that was a big poop.
God, this pay-per-view sucked.
Thanks for making me watch it, Greg.
Is it weird? Right? Is it weird I really wanted to review this?
A little bit. We're just putting out there, this will not be the only Uncensored that we will review in the future, by the way. So just...
spoiler alert, except for 97, they all suck.
Oh, how dare you? That was a national institution.
I'm sorry.
Should be ashamed. I would say thank you for joining me today, Greg, but it's just like, this was bad.
Yeah, and I am ashamed.
We hope you all had some kicks and gigs out of this, but yeah, we'll join you.
I'm gonna roll up in bed in the fetal position and just cry for remembering this right now. So
and go sit in the shower and rock back and forth, sucking your thumb.
Hey, we're Renee.
And Adrian.
And we are
The Outlandish Historians. We're sisters.
Nerds.
And lovers of all things history.
Except bell bottoms. Keep that in the past.
Come hang out with us on the Dear World of History podcast, where we'll frolic through time
as we chat and geek out over the good, the bad, and the downright ugly history of the world.
We promise you don't have to be a licensed historian to travel through time with us.
Maritime disasters?
Check.
Historical serial killers?
Check.
Glamorous and petty royals?
Check and check. You can find us almost anywhere you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Follow us on Twitter at Dear Historians and Instagram at Outlandish Historians.
So chug that drink me bottle and come on down the rabbit hole. It's going to be a wild ride.
Hi, I'm Mark, and I'm one of the hosts of Massive Late Fee. Do you remember Blockbuster? Well, we do, and we racked up a lot of late fees there. That's why we're glad there's things like Netflix, Hulu, and Blockbuster has died, mostly because of us. We cover streaming shows and pretty much whatever we want. Join us every Thursday as we talk TV and movies on Massive Late Fee. You can find us at Massive Late Fee on Twitter, Massive Late Fee on Facebook. You can email the show at massivelatefee@gmail.com, and you can find us at MySpace, Massive Late Fee. Massive Late Fee, the best podcast we can think of.
Hi, this is Brad.
And this is Katie.
And we're the hosts of
Decomposition Podcast.
I think, considering the material we're working with, that language was neither shocking nor inappropriate.
It's upsetting and delightful. Much like this song.
No, it's just rhyming nonsense.
Yeah. Here to hyperanalyze all your favorite terrible songs.
From Billy Joel to Taylor Swift.
And Pitbull to Kiss.
We break down what makes these songs so good.
While they're so bad.
This is a postmodern commentary on human existence.
Billy Shakespeare did write a whole bunch of sonnets. 154 to be exact.
I am not suggesting that this is a good or artistic song in any way.
It's not good, but it's great. You can find us at decompositionpodcast.simplecast.fm
or subscribe on iTunes or your favorite podcast app.
Check out our new episodes every Monday, and remember,
they're not guilty pleasures
if you don't feel guilty.
On Is It Philosophy, we are not going to explore the philosophers of long forgotten. We'll not ponder Plato or Socrates. There's so many podcasts out there for that, if that's what you're seeking. This is something different. A place where all ideas are welcome. An open forum to talk about anything and everything. We take an idea and work to find an answer. It may not always be the most insightful, so come and listen with an open mind. Who knows, you may like what we have to say. So come and enjoy and ask yourself, is it philosophy?
We are reviewing WCW Uncensored 1996 because why the hell not? I will say this. It was
an improvement over 95. But then again, I think Eric Bischoff coming out, dropping Trow, and taking a dump in the middle of the ring was an improvement over 95. And these matches were unnecessarily long. Also, you and I talked about that off air. They were just unnecessarily long to the point of where it's like, go home.
Go away.
Yeah, I was seriously yelling at my TV a couple times. I'm like, are you done yet? Pin somebody. Oh, man. And then there were 2 matches on this card that clocked in less than 5 minutes. Combined, they were about 6 minutes. So we'll get to them. Well, the tagline for Uncensored 1996 was, everything you've wanted to see, plus the stuff you haven't thought of yet.
Yeah.
No. What did you think of the opening package for this event, by the way? I thought it was kind of cool.
That was decent. They built it up really well.
Yeah, I thought the build-up was cool. The theme was awesome and very sinister. And Jimmy Hart laughing like a maniac was kind of cool. Oh, let's go.
And then the bell rang.
Oh, and then that damn bell had to ring. Let's go over some of the pre-show matches here. Mr. JL, who some may know as Jerry Lynn, defeated Dean Malenko in 3 minutes and 20 seconds, which Tony Schiavone would later call an upset. Jim Duggan, or Dugan, depending on, what Jim Ross felt like calling him that day, took on and defeated Big Bubba Rogers in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. By God, I didn't watch it, but I can just assume that was a barn burner. I'm sure it had people out of their damn seats. And Big Dickie Slater took on and defeated Das Wunderkind, Alex Wright. Man. So you put the big, tough redneck guy, Dick Slater, up against this dancing, we'll just call him flamboyant German guy.
Why not?
Yeah, no wonder it ended in 2 minutes. And then the final one was the Steiner brothers fought the Nasty Boys to a no contest in 5 minutes and 19 seconds. Oh, well, because you can't just have one winner in that match, Greg.
There are no losers.
Oh, we're all the losers. Oh, well, before we get to the actual card here, let's just say they're in Tupelo again, in the Tupelo Coliseum, because apparently that's the home of this damn event. Good God.
There's no city more uncensored and wild than Tupelo.
Oh, yeah, the home of the king, baby. Elvis Presley was born there. Yeah, they mentioned a couple times on the show, by the way, the home of Elvis Presley, Elvis was born here. Like, so what? I guess that makes this show important. You want to guess the total attendance for this one, Greg?
3,000.
Wow, you're nice. Well, I will say this. They vastly improved their attendance from last time. In 95, they only did 5,782. This time, they did 9,000 even.
Oh, hey.
Well, they stepped it up because, they thought Hulkamania was coming to an end. So, you got to see that.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, they saw the name Z Gangsta on the marquee, and they're like, my God, gotta get tickets.
I mean, I would.
Oh, hell yeah. He, roars and then clubs people. That's what he does. That's literally all he does, by the way. A little thing I noticed when they brought up the commentators, did you notice, and they had their names up there, did you notice Dusty Rhodes' name was over Bobby Heenan? Bobby Heenan's name was over Dusty Rhodes?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they had the names switched. I'm like, if you didn't know any better... Well, I was going to say, if this was
a bad omen.
Yeah, I was going to say, if this was your first wrestling event and you didn't know any better, but then again, if this was your first wrestling event, you'd never watch another. And I don't know if you noticed this, but they were heavily pushing the tagline. Every time somebody said, in WCW, they had to say, where the big boys play.
I think that's like the year that started.
Yeah, well, they pushed the bloody hell out of this damn thing. They said, every freaking time in WCW where the big boys play, and then they moved on. And I'm like, we get it. The big boys play here. All right, move on. Oh. Well, that's just some things I noticed. The opening match here was Conan defending the United States heavyweight championship against Eddie Guerrero. The commentators mentioned that damn Doomsday cage, triple tier cage, about 50 effing times during this match. I'm like, there is a contest going on in the ring that doesn't involve that damn Doomsday cage, right? Like, holy hell.
It's funny because they've already got their people's money. They're watching, so they bought it.
Right. Yeah, that's clearly what they bought this show for, which I don't know why, but whatever. I guess the concept sounds cool in a way, But man, they just pushed the hell out of it. Oh, later tonight, we're going to see that cage. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that cage. It's like, yeah, we get it. The cage is going to happen later in the night. Shut the F up. I'm wondering if this was a concept thought up by Dusty Rhodes. He woke up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, if you will. Because, by God, he pushed the hell out of this like he came up with it. God rest his soul, but seriously. This match went on for 18 minutes, 27 seconds. I was like, wow, this is a really long opening match, but, the rest of the card can't possibly, keep up with that. Wrong. This was just like, wow. And I told you, it seems like they underbooked this card in a way. Because they were like, you got 20 minutes, go out there and burn it.
Done.
Not that this was a bad match. It wasn't bad. It was just like, dude, pin somebody. And then the end of the match was weird as hell. Eddie goes for a leapfrog, doesn't get all the way up. It looked like Conan, almost headbutts him in the junk. He drops, and then Conan just pins him for the 3. I'm like,
yeah,
what?
And they go and the announcers never shut up about it. I think that was a low blow.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he meant to do that or not. Well, I think you of course he did. Well, I don't know. Well, that looked a little low to me. Yeah, we get it, okay? It was just awkward. Just shut up.
And then it was the finish. Everyone what happened? What happened? Conan looked legit surprised that he won.
I know, right? He was like, thanks, bye. He was on commentary for the the second match of the night, by the way. They show him on commentary on the Mexican commentary table, or the Hispanic commentary table, I guess, or Spanish, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not joking. Dusty Rhodes says, Miguel Cabrera can get what happened out of Conan because he speaks Espanol. Oh my gosh.
Nothing bad there.
Look, God rest Dusty's soul, but I'm going to crap on him tonight, man. It's going to happen. Wow. But yeah, after this epically long opening match, we go to the back where Mean Gene Okerlund is about to interview Colonel Robert Parker before he takes on Medusa in an intergender match, which we'll get to, unfortunately. But Mean Gene says that Colonel Robert Parker is pacing back here, and he said, don't soil yourself before I get to you. I'm like, what the hell?
It's uncensored, man. We can see it all.
It's uncensored. We could see a man crap his pants live on pay-per-view. So here we go. It's not what I'm thinking when I hear the words uncensored. Gosh. But yeah, then we move on to, this was actually a good feud, and they had some good matches in their tenure in WCW, but we move on to this. It's the Belfast Bruiser, who is Fit Finlay. He takes on Lord Steven Regal in a one-on-one match. I will say this, that is one hell of a mullet mustache combo on the Belfast Bruiser.
It was pretty epic.
Yeah, just if you didn't know any better, you'd think his name was Jim Bob, and he came from the trailer park up the road. And he's got his pack of smokes rolled up in the sleeve of his T-shirt.
Got a couple of tall boys and a couple of lotto scratchers.
What is it with you and the tall boys and lotto scratchers? You know of whom I speak. Oh, man. Well, you know what? My wife said she wanted a divorce, but I'm like, you know what? That's fine. We'll still always be cousins. But you know what I said about, uncensored, anything goes, which, by the way, they pushed the hell out of it again this time around. Anything goes. It's uncensored. Anything can happen. And we see a disqualification.
Yeah.
Second year in a row.
And you'll see the great Earl Robert Eaton.
Oh, my gosh.
Excuse me, the Earl of Eaton.
Yes. Yeah. This match also, by the way, went 17 minutes and 33 seconds. So 2 matches went for over a half an hour. They went for like 40-some minutes combined, okay? Or close to it. I can't do math. But either way, it was a long haul for these 2 matches. And the match ends with, Sir Robert Earl of Eaton, and who's Bobby Eaton, for those of you that don't know. He cut his mullet a little bit and slicked it back. And Squire Dave Taylor, the Blue Bloods, they come out and beat the hell out of the Belfast Bruiser, and Regal gets DQ'd. I'm like, seriously? They made this mistake 2 years in a row? Anything goes, but you can be disqualified. It's just, the hell ever. This match had no payoff. And then Bruiser got up, chased him down, and started wailing on him again. It's just, the hell ever. It's the match that never effing ends, I guess.
Nope.
Yeah, the notes I took during the match, again, I'm going to crap on Dusty, and, I very much respect Dusty Rhodes, not to speak ill of the dead, getting all that out of the way, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Dusty asks, where's Ireland? About 5 minutes from England? Bobby Heenan. Wow. Bobby Heenan says 7 miles if you take a bus. God rest Bobby Heenan, man. He was awesome. The crowd gets quiet about halfway into this match, by the way. These guys definitely wore out their welcome.
Yeah, before they even came out.
They were kind of into it for a while, and then they were like, my God, how long is this going to drag on? Yeah, man. Well, thank God it ended with a no decision. Man. Up next, we get an interview with Mean Gene backstage. He's interviewing Loch Ness, and apparently this match between Loch Ness and the Giant later on in the night is now a number 1 contenders match for Ric Flair's WCW title the next night on Nitro. Because why the hell not? We'll announce it. Boom! Right there on Uncensored. Because anything can happen. It's uncensored. Oh, God. But Mean Gene tells Loch Ness that I should introduce you to my neighbor. He's a dentist.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
Yeah, he was. And then Loch Ness just glares at him. Like, Mean Gene, you're pushing your luck tonight, buddy. He's just like a smart ass to everybody. But then we move on to our next amazing match of the night. It was Colonel Robert Parker versus Medusa. Yeah. This was a match. All right.
An actual match.
Yeah. I don't know what it was, by the way.
It was fantastic.
Not to get all pervy about it, but Medusa, I thought this was the best she's ever looked. Like, I mean, I'm not talking like in-ring ability, talking physically.
I feel like she bulked up since she left WWE too at that point.
Yeah. Well, right here was that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Right here, she was. She still had a very girly figure, tan, short blonde hair, and all dolled up and everything else. I thought she looked great, but yeah. And then it kind of went downhill a little bit after that. By the time she was with Macho Man, I was like, I mean, she's still attractive, but not quite the same. I thought she looked better here than when she was Alundra Blaze. I'll say that. But anyway, moving past the pervy aspects of it all, I mean, there wasn't really much to go on in this match besides the perv aspects. This was, I don't know, it was super sloppy. Shocker, I know. Robert Parker was knocked outside of the ring at one point. Medusa came off the top rope onto him, and he kind of like caught her
like hugged her and like set her down on the ground. It was dumb. And then I can't remember what the hell. Oh, she hit a German suplex on Parker. 1, 2, Dick Slater swept her legs out from under her. Robert Parker rolled over on top of her. 1, 2, 3, he wins.
I need to point out that I think he literally pinned her with his crotch in her face.
Oh, man. You can get sued for that nowadays.
Uncensored.
Anything can happen, including Colonel Robert Parker teabags, Medusa in the middle of the ring. Boom. Just, wow. Can that be the end of this, please? I wrote in my notes, Medusa left the WWE to take on Colonel Robert Parker in a god-awful match and lose on pay-per-view in Tupelo. Yeah, she, she was the WWE Women's Champion at one point, right? You remember that, right?
I do.
And now this. God dang. Let's move on before I get too much more depressed. By the way, this clocked in 3 minutes, 47 seconds. And it was the second shortest match of the night. That's right. There was something shorter than this. We'll get to that.
No pun intended.
Wow. Next, we move on. After that, oh, God. It is the Booty Man versus Diamond Dallas Page.
Who's doing his best Jimmy Jam Garvin impersonation here.
Yeah. He looked like he just came in off the streets, by the way. He just looked awful. I think he was supposed to, because, I wasn't keeping up with, the what led up to all this stuff, but judging by what the commentators said, he gambled away all of his money, or blew all of his money, or something like that, and his wife left him, and blah, blah, blah. So the Diamond Doll had left him, and which was Kimberly Page, for those of you that don't know. And during the match, like halfway through their match, he came out, and apparently the stipulation on this match was if DDP lost, he had to retire or something like that.
Yeah.
So why didn't he? Because he didn't win.
I think he has like a loophole or something, and he comes back and wins Battle Bowl.
Wow. Yay. WCW and their stupid stipulations that never follow through. Gosh. Well, I put this in my notes. Less than 2 years before this, Ed Leslie was in the main event of Starrcade 94. He's now the Booty Man. Keep that in mind. But halfway through this match, Kimberly Page comes down. She's no longer the Diamond Doll. She's wearing a tutu and whatever, the same colors as the Booty Man's outfit. And she's now the Booty Babe.
Because why not?
I just said those words. There's more taunting in this match, by the way, than there is wrestling. Did you notice that?
I did, yeah.
It's a 16-minute match. There was at least 8 minutes of taunting for 8 minutes of wrestling. It's just, God. Booty Man had the weirdest frickin' theme song, by the way, that just made you want to go, what the hell is going on? Like, when his theme hit, you knew nobody good was coming out. It was a theme song that said, go to the bathroom. But the Booty Man wins this match with his finishing move called the high knee. I'm not joking.
The high knee.
Oh, my gosh. Yes. If you haven't heard a worse frickin' pun, the Booty Man, his finisher was called the high knee.
Oh, man.
It's just, God dang, this was bad. But, yeah, we go from that, and then he plants one on Kimberly, who is now the Booty Babe. It just, and they leave together. It was, wow. By the way, this was not the last we've seen of the Booty Man in this night, by the way, so plug in for that.
Spoilers.
Because you can never have too much booty, man. Gosh, frickin' Dizzy Hogan. Anyway, we move on.
The man with no name.
Gosh, the Zodiac. And by the way, they kept talking about that during the match, by the way. He was a plant from Hogan sent into the Dungeon of Doom to figure out what was going on. Like, don't reference that, please. Don't bring that up.
That angle was on fire, man.
By the way, for people that don't remember, if you've never seen Mr. Nanny, the Zodiac had a cameo in that film, by the way. He, and I didn't know, because I didn't know that as a kid, I didn't know the Zodiac was a thing. There's a scene in the film where Hogan's character is out fishing on the dock somewhere, and he falls asleep, and during his nap, he has this daydream, or this dream in his nap, where he's like fighting off these different wrestlers, and one of them is the Zodiac.
Oh.
So, man, it's just riding Hogan's coattails like nobody's business. Hey, good for you, Booty Man. Did we go over his various nicknames, by the way?
No, and I don't want to.
What was your favorite?
I don't know.
I'm going to go with Big Brother Booty. That was my favorite. I'm not joking. That was one of his names. Moving on, they built this matchup. It was there's a number one contenders match. The winner will face the Nature Boy Ric Flair for the WCW title tomorrow night on Nitro. And they kept building it as Giant versus Giant. 2 minutes, 34 seconds.
And it ends with a leg drop, by the way.
Yeah. It was the Giant with Jimmy Hart versus Loch Ness. And just, wow. By the way, they kept claiming that Loch Ness weighed in at 700 pounds. While the man was massive, I guarantee he was not 700 pounds. I mean,
yeah.
Good Lord. They also claimed that the Giant stood at 7'4". And this was during the era where they kept claiming that his father was Andre the Giant. Just a lot of, alternative facts being thrown around here during this match. But yeah, the Giant finishes off Loch Ness, like you said, with a leg drop, and
yeah.
God dang.
Oh, man.
What? I didn't really have any notes for this because it was so short, like why? But yeah, so that was that. Then we move on to our next to last match of the night. This match was a Chicago street fight. And it was a very confusing storyline going on here. It was the Road Warriors, Animal and Hawk, versus Sting and Booker T. Apparently, from what I gathered, Luger was Sting's partner, but since he had a contract with Jimmy Hart, he legally had to wrestle in the Doomsday Cage match, and he couldn't wrestle with Sting. And then he said he promised Booker T if he wrestled. So they were the tag champions, by the way?
Yeah.
Where the hell were the belts?
I don't know.
Did you notice that? There were no belts.
I did notice that, yeah.
Whatever. But anyway, Sting promised Booker T, if you are my partner and we win, you help me win, then Harlem Heat will get a shot at the tag titles. So it was it was stupid and confusing. I know, shocker, WCW is stupid and confusing. But anyway, this match went on for 29 minutes and 33 seconds. By God. Like, I honestly didn't think this match was ever going to end.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it was super freaking sloppy. Like, this was a really sloppy-ass match.
We had two cameras the whole time, too. So, like, screen was split.
Yeah, and at one point, two cameras doing split screen were filming the same thing! Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. That was during the main event. That wasn't during this match. They did that twice. So, yay. If you love WCW and their split screen, plug in. Hawk no-sold a pile driver.
You remember that? You notice that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got pile drive.
Got right up.
Yeah, he got pile driven, stood right up, and then Bobby Heenan and Dusty, well, he's got that thick neck that can, he's a real powerful neck and whatever. I'm like, oh, F off. Like, come on. Towards the end, things break down a bit, and it looks like communication is also breaking down. Everything looked really sloppy. Nobody was connecting with anything. At one point, Sting connected with a clothesline to the side of Hawk's neck that just looked ugly as hell. It's just, and a lot of things were just awful. At one point, Booker T is like, F this, and he starts going to the back because he's had enough. He's tired. He wants to go home like the rest of us do. And Animal follows him. Animal goes to hit Booker. Booker moves. He accidentally... Lex Luger is posing, looking at himself in a mirror. It's just... My God. I've never heard of anything more Lex Luger in my life. But Animal accidentally hits him, knocks him into a trash can. Lex gets pissed, joins in with Booker T, starts beating up on Animal. Then Stevie Ray comes out of nowhere, starts beating up on Animal. And then Jimmy Hart comes out of nowhere and handcuffs Animal to a pillar.
Yeah. Man, I forgot about that part.
Yeah. And then Booker goes back to the ring. Sting hits Hawk at one point. Hawk falls backwards against the ropes, and Stevie Ray full sprint blasts him in the back with a chair. Hawk falls forward, and Booker T pins him 1, 2, 3. Boom. And then the commentators, about 50 freaking times during this match, had to get in, anything goes, it's uncensored. We get it, it's uncensored, anything goes, yada yada. Yeah.
And we've already seen a disqualification earlier in the night.
Right. It's anything goes. It's also a street fight, which means, anything goes. It's not just because it's uncensored. But they said it 5,000 times. In case we forget. Well, they're hitting each other with broomsticks right now because anything goes. It's uncensored. Oh, my gosh. You remember they kept saying that in 95 as well?
Mm-hmm.
Well, anything goes. It's uncensored. But then... But then Macho Man won his match via disqualification when Ric Flair came out of the crowd, so dressed in drag. Oh, my God. For a recap of that, it's on iTunes and YouTube. Go check it out if you feel like having yourself a laugh. Anyway, we move on to the reason why we're all here tonight. It's the Doomsday Cage match. It's the Mega Powers, Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage, are taking on the amazingly named Alliance to End Hulkamania. Ah, man. It is a 2-on-8 match, I guess, is what it was billed as. Were there 8 people here? I gotta count.
Yeah.
It was Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Mang, the Barbarian, Lex Luger, the Taskmaster, who's Kevin Sullivan, the Z Gangsta, and the Ultimate Solution. And they also had Woman, Miss Elizabeth, and Jimmy Hart at cage side, just for the hell of it. Oh, this was, how would you describe this match, Greg?
I can't say it. We're PG.
Does it start with the word cluster?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're uncensored. It was a...
Yeah. Anything goes. It's uncensored. Pyro went off around this damn Doomsday Cage like it was never going to stop, by the way. I was like, holy crap, is it the 4th of July? They just lit this mother effer up. It's just, wow. Michael Buffer, by the way, kept referring to the Mega Powers as the Mega Force.
Yeah, I got that.
He said it, at first I was like, okay, maybe he misread it. But he said it 3-4 times. I'm like, does he just, not give a damn?
Nope.
I don't think they've ever been called the Mega Force. But yeah, this, nothing really remarkable happens in this other than a lot of frickin' powder gets used, early on. I don't know. Well, at one point, they break out of the cage at one point. The Mega Powers...
They can only go up from there.
Oh, yeah. Well, they wrestle down to the other ring, and it's... I'm trying to think. It was Macho Man, Hogan, obviously, and it was Kevin Sullivan, and can you remember was it Arn Anderson?
I think it was him and Arn, and then the Faces of Fear.
Oh, yeah. Well, they wrestle down to the ring at one point, and the Mega Powers are apparently doing too well, because then we see the ringers that they bring in. It's the Ultimate Solution, a.k.a. Jeep Swanson, a.k.a. Bane, and the Z Gangsta, a.k.a. Zeus.
Debo.
Oh, man. He's gonna steal your bicycle, man. Give me that chain. Anyway, you notice he used to have the Z's on the side of his head. I don't know why he couldn't still, but now he wrote the word gangsta on the side of his head.
Yep.
And he's wearing, like, baggy pants. Why was he a Z Gangsta, by the way?
Just because.
But him and Ultimate Solution, I'll say this, they were massive. If you had to describe the Ultimate Solution and Z Gangsta there, Greg, how would you describe them? It's uncensored. Anything goes. Come on.
Imagine Mantar and Zeus standing next to one another.
Oh, gosh. Oh, man. At one point, because this Ultimate Solution and Z Gangsta drag both men back to the cage, throw them in, and they're, like, wrestling in the ring in the cage now. Ultimate Solution, like, throws Macho Man around, and the Brain says he threw Macho like, quote, 100-pound infant. What infant is 100 pounds? Yeah.
Poor mom.
I know, like, what the heck? What kind of infant do you know that's 100 freaking pounds? And not an elephant infant, maybe. Or a hippo. Like, but God. Oh, but here's where it starts to really pick up, Greg. Because we see the Booty Man again.
Yes.
And he comes and he slips the Mega Powers frying pans.
Because why wouldn't you use those in this match?
Well, yeah. I mean, why not? And Macho Man's just got, like, freaking tights full of powder, by the way. Like, how many bags of powder can that man stuff down his damn tights? Because he had a lot.
4 or 5.
Yeah, looked like. Because he just powdered the crap out of everybody. And then they took these frying pans and just beat the piss out of everyone with it. I'm like, damn. He broke the handle off on Ric Flair's head. Well, eventually, Lex Luger comes in and, you know, the alliance to end Hulkamania, they start to, they start to get beat down again. And the finale of the match was, you know, the amazing finale. Ric Flair's holding the arms of the Macho Man. Lex Luger has a weighted glove on, and he goes to punch Macho. Macho moves, Luger stops, and then goes through the punch anyway, and knocks the crap out of Flair. And
that was clearly on purpose, by the way.
Yeah. Did they make a storyline out of that, by the way?
Yeah, I think he was done with them the next night.
Yeah, I figured, because earlier in the night, Jimmy Hart talks about, you know, he's not his manager anymore, and he was giving him a parting gift, and it was his airbrushed jacket with his face on it. But yeah, so I don't know. The Macho Man gets the win. Yay. This atrocity went on for 25 minutes and 16 seconds.
Oh, man.
Spoiler.
They literally did kill off Hulkamania, by the way.
Yeah, you and I were discussing that, because you had texted me last night when I was watching this crap, and you were like, this would actually be Hulk Hogan's final appearance until he showed up to join the NWO. And I started thinking about it, and I'm like, you mean to tell me that the Alliance to End Hulkamania actually did end Hulkamania? And you went, holy crap, they did. They lost, and they still ended Hulkamania. So, you know, good for them. Oh, good grief.
Yeah, but who's thanking them?
I don't know.
Should went away, too.
Yeah. Well, they did. I think they broke up after that. So. It was just a weird show. I don't know. But at least we got to see Booty Man multiple times throughout the night. That was always a plus.
Oh, yeah. And Loch Ness, you know, the amazing 5-star.
Yeah, right? Wait,
Oh, gosh. This was poop. But anyway, thank you for joining me on this, Greg.
Of course.
We will come at you later. Peace out.
Later.